All right. Clashing colors, or like very vibrant colors. And since this is it's almost too bright, almost too vibrant. Welcome Lost. Right now this is a green square. Let's see if I can actually change it to something actually worth like looking at. Right now I am simply trying to okay, that'll do, I think. Okay. Right now I'm building textures, ground textures. This right here is a 32 by 32 pixel image. All right, let's see what else kind of. All right, here we go. Thanks. Welcome to Tone. Yeah, this is ground tiles. And this is the first of 9 different tiles. The tiles will be dispersed randomly across the map. I will also be using a fading shader to make like different colored ground tiles fade into the others. They will all be placed randomly over the map. This is for the plains biome, which is where I'm going to be doing my testing. what I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to create just simple grass noise because of how this is going to work. I'm thinking that even if they repeat, they will not repeat the same way like next to each other, so you'll have a hard time actually noticing them. But also, when I actually get the Flora system implemented on top of this, it will actually make it to where you don't even see these tiles repeated enough times with the Flora in the way. And the Flora is going to be procedurally generated in such a way that there's going to be thousands of different species in just the plains biome alone. There's also going to be thousands of different species in the jungle biome and the tundra biome, but it'll make it to where everything looks different and random based on predefined and pre-designed assets. They also can be rotated at random too, yes. That's a good idea. The way I said that, it's like, oh yeah, that was my idea to begin with. No, that's a good idea. I'm writing that down. Thank you. Having myself a little bit of absinthe tonight. All right, there's the first one. Okay, so I have to make it 96. Width. Okay, this is the first layer. Second layer is going to be left. Oops, no. You can already see a difference in the colorization. Shouldn't see that. Why do I see a difference? Shouldn't see one. These sprites will not be used how normal sprites are normally used. I'm not just sticking them directly into the engine. I'm going to make them to where they actually scale, like vector graphics. That way, no matter what resolution you're playing the game at, save those ultra-wide screens that the weirdos use, those people that absolutely have to be immersed in their game. Alright. And nice to have another subscriber. Thank you for subscribing. Left. Right. There we go. Now, and this looks like the graphic fidelity of my game. This is the graphic fidelity of the ground in my game. I would like to say I started this about a year ago. About a year ago, I only had things written down. Like, I had, I was physically I was writing out the ideas. Like, how does the combat work? How does armor work? How does weapons work? How does building the settlement work? How does the narrative system work? All these different things. And I was basing it off of lore that I've been writing since I was 8 years old. So yeah, I've been working on this game most of my life, but until just recently, I haven't had the means or the tools or the technology to be able to see my vision come to reality. I'm not just making a simple game. I'm making an experience. Yeah, pretty much. Been working on it pretty much all my life. It's important to me. And I'm still just getting started, man. Still just getting started. What I plan to build is no less than one of the most amazing games people have ever played. I'm nuts. I'm crazy. I'm driven and I'm ambitious. This is what I plan to do for the next 10 years. People are going to get sick of me talking about it. It's going to be what I go to bed with, what I wake up with. The next step after I finish these, I'm going to uh, split them all up into individual textures, and I'm going to import them into another program I have called Spine. And what Spine does is it turns these into animated graphics. It gives them like a mesh. It's like they're pseudo 3D graphics. It is a 2D game, but these are pseudo 3D graphics being used. This allows this allows the game to scale to any resolution. One little square here, yes, is a pixel. Each one of these tiles is 32 by 32. In my game, 32 by 32 is equal to 1/4 of a meter. Four of these tiles is exactly 1 meter. The player is going to stand about as tall as 2.5 of these. Like, let me see if I can actually represent how the player is going to look when he's actually standing on this ground. Let's see. It's going to be something like this. That's about the scale of the character right there. I know this is a terrible rudimentary drawing, but this is basically how tall the character's going to be on screen. Well, uh, not this tall, but like you're going to probably see them about that big on screen. And you're going to move around with the character. You're going to see the character on screen. You're going to be able to run, jump, duck, climb, swim, all that stuff. Just wait till you hear what I'm actually going to do with Spine. I'm making it to where every single character model, every single thing you can play as is all one Spine file. It's all the armor, all the weapons, all the hairstyle sets, all the clothing sets, everything. All the animations are all going to be in one single file. Okay, yeah. Let me continue with this. It sounds like a lot of extra work because it is a lot of extra work. Because I'm being extra. I would say probably roughly 4 gigabytes. I am planning to make this game fit on a DVD. Even though DVDs are antiquated media, I want the game to fit primarily onto a DVD. Because I do want to sell this game in a physical form eventually if it actually does well enough. Like one of the first consoles I wanted to release it to was a Nintendo console because they still use physical media. While PlayStation and Xbox and PC, they're all trying to shy away from physical media because they don't want you to own anything. But me, as an American who enjoys owning the things he buys, I'm going to make that option available to everybody if I can. The game's not going to have very much voice acting. It's all going to be text. That's actually one of the limitations I have. As a game developer with very little money, I have to prioritize what I can and cannot do. And one of the things I cannot do is voice acting. I think I'm just going to do it this way because... Yeah. Well, the game will have sound effects. I'm going to make a lot of my own custom sound effects. That's what I bought this sound mixer for. I'll be using this eventually. I'm actually going to go out and I'm going to actually record a lot of unique sound effects. I have a portable microphone that I'm going to be using for just that feature. I'm going to be using Audacity to actually remix the stuff. The hardest thing is going to be the music. I have hardly any musical inclination whatsoever. I'm barely a musician at all. But I have dabbled in music. I've done stuff in 3D FL Studio. I used to work in 3D Studio Max as well, but that's a different story entirely. Okay. I separated all these sections, but now I'm painting over the whole entire thing. Because I absolutely want all the tiles to blend seamlessly. And the only way I can do that is by... Yeah, speaking audio and soundtracks will do that. I'm looking for a very specific type of music. The type of music I want to make for this game is something that most people probably aren't all that familiar with. There is this album. It's called Nude. N-U-D-E. By a band called Camel. The music in that album is how I want the music in Farmilia to sound. If I can find somebody who can make music like that, that'd be great. Alright. Now let's see what happens when I separate this into sections. Okay, let's see. One, no. Now let's see what happens when I go over here with it. Yeah, that's what I thought. Too bright on this side. go. Yep, that's one of the songs. Just the instrumentals, though. There will be no singing. But the instrumentals themselves, some of the tracks on that album are amazing. And yes, I love every single track on that album. No, there's some singing. Not very much singing, but there is singing during the songs. All right. Okay. Need to see something real quick. Need to have a 32 by 32 template. Rest can be over here. There we go. Now that tells me everything I need to know. Oops. Is this a 32 by 32 template? No, it isn't. And I believe this is it right here. Just have to split this back up into things that I can use again. Okay, 0, 32, 32, 32. Yeah, they do. And again, they are just the ground. They are the basic ground. I'm also going to create like dirt patches that actually fade into it. And I'm also going to create walls that fade into that and other structures. Other natural structures. And this is just all for the plains ground. Once I make this, I'm going to make one for each and every single biome. And there's a lot of different biomes. And all the different biome tiles, like this one right here, are all going to be one single spine file. Now I'm trying to figure out how to divide them up again. I know how. There we go. Now I have it again. Actually, I should probably do this. Yeah. Right now I'm numbering all the different separate tiles of the 9 tiles. And then when I import them to Spine, they will have these numbers. And these numbers will always correspond to the particular tile that is going to be placed and what direction it's going to be placed in. So, yes, you can actually rotate tiles. You can, they'll be able to be, they'll look good no matter what direction they are. But I'm also going to create tiles that blend into these tiles, and I'm going to use a shader in the game engine to blend them so that they will actually fade from one type of ground to another very seamlessly. Numbering is probably the best way to go. Oh no, it's just going to know which tile of the 9 it's using, and then it's going to place them in a random number. You know, like the first top 3 are 1, 2, 3, then 4, 5, 6, and then 7, 8, 9. Well, sometimes the number will be 1, 9, 8, 7, 3, 6, stuff like that. And when it does that, it will also rotate them in certain directions. So from these 9 tiles, 9, 18, 27, 30, yeah, 36 different options. But also 64, 128 different possible combinations, I think. Uh-oh. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm still streaming. Just numbering them for programming simplicity. Yes, exactly. Pick a spot, pick a tile, pick a rotation, do it over and over and over again. But then there will also be 1/8 tiles that determine elevation. Every single one of these tiles equals 1 elevation unit, and there are 128 elevation units. So, according to what I have, I am able to put like 30 to 40 stories on a building. But that's if it's actually at ground level. If it's even lower, the buildings can actually go higher. There's 256 different elevation units. Oops. There we go. Now for the last one. Don't need the divider anymore. There we go. There we go. And that's all of them. Alright, now I'm going to mix them. Now I'm going to jumble them up manually to see if they actually fit together like they're supposed to. And they do. They tile very decently. That's good. One at the bottom there. Yeah. All right. Okay, now this is now Plains PSD. The building possibilities, I'm going to make it to where it's like Minecraft but with physics. Like, but also it takes you time to build things. You can't just build things immediately because it's simulating progress over time. Everything takes time to do, but you can actually skip the activities. Every single activity that you're currently doing, you can skip. But skipping spends time out of your day to do so. Like every single thing you do, you can actually skip the activities. Anytime you fast travel, that it actually calculates the time it would take you to travel there by a certain means. Like if you're going there on horseback, let's say, you get there faster than you would on foot. But it still requires a certain amount of time to get there. And this is very important. Time is one of the most powerful things in this game. Now, I'm going to create... Now that I've done the plains, I'm going to create... 3 stacked... Yeah, okay. Select... Okay, edit... Canvas size. Height is only 8. This right here is 1/4 of an elevation unit. The player can walk over one of these. But if the 2 of these are stacked on top of each other, the player cannot walk over one of these, but they can jump over one of these. They can jump over 2 elevation units total. Maybe even higher. Everything in the game is going to be risk and reward. The complexity of my game is going to be... This is my dream game. This is the game I've always wanted to play. No game company is making it, so I'm making it. What I have planned is no less than one of the most advanced narrative systems that you have ever seen. And that's a promise. Okay, so this is going to be a dirt wall. A plains wall. Oops. Need to do something about that. Okay, there we go. There we go. Oops. Canvas size 16. Project Zomboid. I'm gonna have to look up that game. I have a feeling that this game is way beyond what Project Zomboid does. Actually, edit. Change image resolution. Change canvas size. 96. I'm going to do a whole 3 things. Oops, no. Okay, that's what I want. There we go. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yes, 12. This is 3 elevation units. This is 1 story of a building right here. I'm also going to create corner. I'm also going to create corner textures for these, and then I'm going to create like ones that actually like I'm going to create like circular textures so they can actually like corner off and round off when I need them to. And houses are going to be built this way. All the architecture is built and based around this 32 by 32 pixel system. Everything is measured in metric units. The whole entire planet is 400 million kilometers, square kilometers. In my game, nothing is sped up. In my game, well, a day equals 1 hour. One actual real world hour. 1 real world hour. 30 minutes day, 30 minutes night. But that's at the equinoxes. On the solstices, days are shorter and nights on winter solstice the days are shorter and the nights are longer. It is 35-25, I believe. 25-35 and then 35-25 for the summer solstice. Top down. You'll be looking at the map from like a 45-degree angle, maybe, like probably just like straight down at it, like you're looking at it like that. Yeah, they do. But mine is very reminiscent of a game called Terranigma on the SNES. Have you ever played that? Yeah, not many people have played that game. If you play that game, you will get a feel for exactly the kind of combat my game is going to have, the kind of atmosphere it's going to have. That game has some of the most beautiful prog rock in it I've ever heard. It has a character that moves around in ways I've never seen a character move. The combat in that game is unique. There's just all sorts of things about that game that set it apart from other action RPGs on the SNES. It's definitely not like Zelda. Diablo camera is actually something known as 3/4 view. This is straight up 45 degree. You're looking straight down. Everything is in a square grid. Now let me see how this... Cleaning it up. Yes, as a matter of fact, I am. I'm bringing 3 characters in the game total from my comic. There's going to be Locke, there's going to be Sulkin. Actually, no, just 2 characters from my comic. Every other character is going to be randomly generated. The most important character in the world is you, but you are what's special about your character. Your character, otherwise, is no different than any other character in the game. The decisions you make, the choices... There we go. Cleaning off all the bits and bobs. Just doing some random cleanup. All these tiles should now be cleaned up. But now you can tell they stack. There we go. All right. Well, kind of looks like sediment anyway. $64. What I'm doing right now is I'm making the ground so that I may walk upon it. Uh-oh. 7 still has some garbage. Gotta get rid of that garbage. There we go. I'm just making the ground so I can walk upon it. 8 has garbage too. Let me get rid of that. Nine. Nine has garbage too. I thought I got rid of all the garbage, but I did not. Move 8 aside. No. I'm going to make the background stick out real heavily. I'm going to make the backgrounds a lot brighter than all the others. I'm going to make the backgrounds darker, and I'm going to make the character assets brighter so they stick out compared to the backgrounds. rocks and trees. There's going to actually be rocks sticking out of the walls and stuff that are actually going to be randomly generated in another data file system that I'm going to create. Right now, I only have one data file created, and it took me 3 months to actually create the program needed to actually make it, which is called planetgenerator.py. It's a Python file that reads an image file and changes that image file into readable data that also includes elevation based on how bright a color is and what color, and determines which continent it is by what color the continent is. And then doing that, I was able to create a whole entire planet using that system. And then from there, I'm going to be creating a bunch of subzones. And these subzones are randomly generated compared to the planet, which is always static. The planet is always the same, but the land itself is going to be different every single time. Every single time you start a new game, you're going to have a different seed value. It's kind of like Minecraft, but a little bit more advanced than that. And it's in 2D. They are virtual blocks. The world is created out of virtual blocks. Similar to Minecraft. Similar to how Minecraft works. Look at how these look next to each other. Yeah, they look pretty good next to each other. Yeah, they look good next to each other. How about this one? Alright. It's like a top-down Terraria, is what it is. Infinite replayability. But here's the thing that's going to set my game apart from all the rest of them. The story is random too. When you play Skyrim, you're always going to fight Alduin. You're always going to go to Whiterun to talk to Jarl Balgruuf about going to Bleak Falls Barrow. And from Bleak Falls Barrow, you find the Dragonstone. And from there, you go to, there's specific story beats throughout the game that never change. When you enter a dungeon in Skyrim, it never, ever changes. Nothing ever changes. It's all static. It's like a bunch of actors walking around. They're all standing waiting for you to come because you're so important. They're basically putting on a play for you. My game is not like that. My game is going to be heavily dynamic. And I've actually figured out a way to do it. And it's going to change video games forever. I'm certain of it. And yes, I am absolutely crazy for attempting this. I'm scared even talking about it. Alright, save as. I don't know if the music should have stopped. The music shouldn't have stopped. Do you hear the music now? Anyway, that is all I have for tonight. I am now going to implement these things into Spine. I'll probably show that next time. I'll probably show my implementation of Spine next time on stream, but right now I want to make sure that I actually get it to work properly before I actually try to actually show it in a stream, because I don't want to show me just fumbling around for hours trying to figure things out. I want to have a system down before I actually show it on screen. So, anyway, thank you very much for joining me on my stream, and you have a good night.